until marriage comes, right? Until marriage comes. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Ladies, I'm having a wonderful time. It really is a good feeling to be with all of you. I sense the power of God just moving through this tent, and I'm already experiencing a good time with you. It's going to be a wonderful evening. When I came here earlier on, I looked and I just saw one or two persons, and it reminded me of a little story I heard about a farmer. He was the only one who turned up for church, and the young preacher decided that he wanted to, in the spirit of being prepared for church, he was going to deliver his 4-hour service, sermon and all, stirring sermon, and he went on. At the end, he went up to the farmer and he said, "So, how was it?" And the farmer said, "Well, Pastor, me a really one poor, little illiterate farmer, you know, but one thing I can tell you, if me did go for feed my cow, them only one cow come, wouldn't give him all of the grass." But for you this evening, it doesn't matter how many persons are here, we're going to give you every single thing that we planned. And it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful evening. I just want to recognize my sister-in-law is here. She's part of the pressure group. She's part of the pressure group. My sister-in-law is here. And I also have some friends from the Boulevard United Church. Thank you so much. I also have some friends from the Boulevard United Church where I worship, and I want to recognize them as well. Minister Andreen is a friend of mine, and she's here as well, and I'm really happy. Grace, my friend. Okay, ladies, let me see by a show of hands any of you who have ever been a bridesmaid.
Too much.
Alright, so let me ask another question now. Let me see by a show of hands if you have ever been a bridesmaid more than once.
Yes, I'm on strike.
Okay, well, let me comfort you, Anne-Marie, because if I was an octopus, then I'll probably be waving all my hands because I've been a bridesmaid 9 times. And on one occasion, when I was putting the veil on my friend Joan, and I was telling her what a predicament she was putting me in, because you know they say, many times a bridesmaid, never a bride. So what I was telling her, I was bemoaning, I saying, you know what you do to me? You know what she said? She said, "Gee, Donnetta, you should be lucky. You have enough friends who want you to be a part of your bridal party than to be thinking of this as a bad thing." And she put another perspective on it for me, because very often when we are single, we tend to not pay attention to those other powerful relationships that we have. Relationship with friends, relationship with our work colleagues, relationship with those persons who trust you enough to tell you about their life challenges and everything that is going on in their lives. And so I had to reframe based on what she has said. I looked in the dictionary and I got a meaning for loneliness. And you know what it says? It says loneliness is described as a sadness that arises from the feeling that no one cares about you and that no one is interested in you. For some strange reason, people equate singleness and loneliness. They sound like the same thing to you? They are far from being the same thing. Being alone and being single are two different things. There are many people who live alone, but who are never really lonely. And the truth is, there are many people in committed relationships who are very much lonely. So when we weigh the thought of being single and lonely, I'd like to just say that it's a matter of perspective. You know that pretty much glass is half full and half empty. So the optimist looks at the glass and says it's what? Half full. The pessimist look at it and says it's half empty. The opportunist, let's talk about the realist. The realist just look on the glass and say, "Oh, that no need a half full, no, half empty, it is just a glass." And the opportunist just take the glass of water and drink it. The thing for us to remember always though is that the glass is refillable. Let me just bring it back to what we are talking about. Although I'm not an expert in the psychology of loneliness, I don't have any special training, what I want to share with you today is some of the experiences I have had with my friends in talking about this topic. Singleness is a state of being, and loneliness is a feeling, isn't feeling. And while it may be difficult to change that state of being, you know, it might be delayed, it might take long for us to move from singleness. Guess what? You can change your feeling very, very quickly and very, very easily. So I want to suggest a few things that you can do to change or to turn around this feeling. It has worked for me and I want to suggest it for you. I want to tell you a little story though. Some years ago, I met the man who I thought was the man of my dreams. We met in Barbados. He's Jamaican. We had gone to a conference together. And from the first day, we clicked. Everything just seemed right. And that this was going to be the relationship for me. Just imagine with me for a moment the kind of man who set up in his house a treasure hunt. And every clue you read, you come upon a nice gift. And the final clue takes you to a gift, which is a pendant, a heart pendant. And on one side is your gemstone, and on the other side is his gemstone. You know, really would have just said, that is it for you? But after about 2 years in the relationship, reality struck. There were just some things about it, and pretty similar to what Trisha shared with us. There were some things about the personality that flipped from being that good guy to that not so good guy in a moment that you had to decide that this could not be it. At the end of that relationship, did I feel sad? Did I feel lonely? Did I feel depressed? You can bet I did and more. But what I had to do is to reframe and decide how I was going to make my life better. Because for us, till death do us part was becoming to seem like something that was going to happen sooner than later. And so despite all the wonderful things about the relationship, there was that niggling thing that had to make me pause. Although on the face of it, we would have made a very good public couple. You would have seen us out in public and say, ooh, them look nicey. I began to, at the same time, I began to examine my life. And that was how I found a relationship with God. No, I did not seek God on the rebound. I had been examining my life and I decided that I wanted to serve God. I'd been attending candidates classes and I tried to look at things differently. I found a lot of joy in Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Can I see the hands of anybody who can relate to that passage of scripture? I think most of us can. I found a lot of joy in the scripture when I know that God had a special plan for my life, and importantly, he had special thoughts about me. And so that was where I thought that I would reframe. Look here now. If you're currently single and feel like loneliness is building walls and bars around you, then my suggestion for you before I take my seat is to escape. When I say escape, I don't mean to escape in the arms of the first person who come along and give you some good for nothing lyrics. I mean E.S.C.A.P.E. Let's start with the E. It is very important for us to focus on empowerment. It is very important for us to focus on empowerment. But you know how I look at empowerment? Empowerment for me is best done when you seek to empower others. I want to thank Trisha for an environment like this where the conversation around singleness and loneliness can begin. And as I seek to share with you, you know what is happening? I'm developing more. So the more I share with you is the more I am learning. Ralph Waldo Emerson says it's best. It's one of the great compensations of this life, that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself. And so empower others, share with others in a way that makes them escape this feeling of loneliness. When we encourage another, we are in fact encouraging ourselves. The S in escape, ladies, I know you're going to look at me like, and that is kind of what Trisha told us not to do, but listen carefully. The S says stay busy. Really, really busy. You know what I mean by that? I mean that it is a time for us to volunteer, to do something else to help someone. In volunteering, one of the most interesting acts of volunteering I've done is to read for persons who are visually impaired. And it is a fascinating thing when you read for someone who is blind. They need your help. But although they have no vision, you leave with so much insight, hope, and vision just by connecting with them. So it is important to volunteer, get involved. There are so many groups, the Red Cross. There are so many groups like the Rotary. But importantly, many of you are members of the church. So make the church work for you. And in that way, I don't mean in an exploitive way, but there are so many opportunities for you to connect and share in the church. We have done two. We have done the E, which is what? S? Really busy. The C requires, and let me just say one final word about staying busy. One word of caution. The objective here is not to cram your day to the point that you feel you don't have time to feel or think. The objective is to select meaningful activities. So don't count the activities, make the activities count. That is what is important. Then the C requires that we cultivate the creative side. If you want to be prosperous and successful, as Trisha has given us the tools to do, then we have to find the talents, the creative talents within us, and to cultivate the creative side. So what are some of the things that you are working on? What are some of the projects you are working on? Your mission statement, that visioning board is extremely important. But let's talk a little bit about your creative side. Anybody is using their time to do something on the creative side? I know I'm sitting amongst a group of talented ladies. I see my sister-in-law put her hand up. I hope it is that you're not happily married. I hope you're not putting your hand up because you're not. What are you doing?
Gardening.
Gardening. Them says the old people sure that, you know. Cultivate your creativity. I saw the woman say no. Gardening really, one of the most fulfilling tasks you can do is gardening. I tell you what, I hope that my employers are not in the earshot. If I struggle to wake up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I have no problem getting up on a Saturday when I know I can really spend some time in the garden.